Hey, look, that's me, Mike Griffith. My name in lights, I guess. This is the Baco Motorsports Power Hour, our fourth year, a new intro that Chris McCullough put together for us to try to spruce things up a little bit and use some of the footage from the racetracks that we cover on a mostly weekly basis here at the Motorsports Power Hour. Big season coming up. I've got Steve Hughes from Kern County Raceway Park in for a couple segments to start this one off because you've got a little event coming up there at the racetrack this weekend.
We're rolling them in right now. Third annual Winter Showdown, kind of kicking everything off. And for me, it's basically nirvana for motorsports, right? Especially locally and nationally. We kind of kick things off with the Winter Showdown, and then go drag racing, and then the Bakersfield Speedway. Their grand opener for their 72nd year, and what is it now? 2050? How many March meets?
Oh, it started in 59.
Yeah.
We missed a couple, so it's been a lot.
Yeah, a lot. So, all within about 3 weeks of each other. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
when the season kicks off here in Bakersfield, it kicks off with a
Certainly,
bang.
yeah.
And be remiss, we got a new slide here, too. We've got the America flag because we all love America.
Oh, yeah.
And then going to rotate some slides through here, and this is one of the ones that Chris did for me. So honoring Mr. Thorne there before the big Winter Showdown and the three-time Spears SRL Southwest Tour champion.
Yeah,
so
had a pretty good 2016 season.
He did. He anytime he sets his mind to it, he has a pretty good season.
Certainly.
That's a pretty good driver there. And I think we'll look back. We had Fast Trip sponsored the all-area team last year for the second straight time. This was after we quit running the show here, but we had, if you look there, I think there's 55 drivers made the team. We tried to get a little buy on each one of them, what they did from, basically, most of the motorsports didn't get the off-road guys in there. It's hard to catch up with everybody unless you're paying attention.
I'll reach out to those guys, the Cognito Motorsports guys.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of off-road guys that
Sure.
are doing good things, but we got Supermoto, we got the motocross, the three oval tracks and stuff, and
talk to
you're always going to
DeBerti.
miss some stuff. So.
Maybe talk to Brad DeBerti and get him in there. And
we'll see if we're going to do that again. Plans are right now. Possibly, maybe.
Right on. That's great
I
news.
think the racers like that.
Yeah, it was a great layout, nice double truck there, and you got to highlight 55 of the.
Yeah, and it was just the idea of that all-area team, and this show is to give the racers a little
platform.
Something,
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah, just to say, hey, this is what I do on my days off.
Yeah, so there you go. And as we said, the Winter Nationals kicks off this week in Pomona. Always, and that's been going on for eons since the '60s. We've had in the past Jack Williams. The late Jack Williams, who used to run for Motor Raceway for a long time, he was the Winter Nationals champions. We had James Warren ran down there a lot. Doug Kerhulis ran there a lot. So we had a lot of guys at the top level there for the Winter Nationals for years and years.
And it's pretty cool that the NHRA season starts in California and then ends in California in November. So the Winter Nationals are something that I've been a part of, been down there to watch. It's a great event. It's a beautiful facility there at Pomona. So hope if anybody's going down, you're going to be missing a great circle track race at your hometown track, but it should be an enjoyable weekend down there.
We got Daytona. I guess they're on the track in 9 days. Start practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Daytona 18. Daytona is in 18 days.
Right.
The 500. Lots of racing before the 500 with the Clash and the Xfinity Series and the trucks. So you get there. New rules this year.
Oh, boy, yeah.
We don't have time to get into all that stuff, but a whole new format. We don't call it the Chase anymore, but it's the Monster Energy Cup now, not the Sprint Cup.
Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
Yes. And we're not chasing anymore, and now they're awarding mid-race or three segments, and the two segments within the race are going to pay a little bonus points for being out leading, and they don't want drivers laying back anymore.
Hey, listen, I don't pretend to understand when I put my key in the car and turn the ignition what it takes to get the engine to fire.
Yeah.
I don't question that. So I'm not going to question what NASCAR is doing with their point system, as long as when they put the key in the ignition and it makes for better racing on the racetrack, that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
Right. We need new viewers. We need new fans. We need the existing fans to see this as an exciting thing, and we need good racing on the racetrack. And believe me, it's not the first time NASCAR's taken a gamble.
No, they've done that. And the bigger thing, I just saw the story. They just put the story out today about not really fixing the cars anymore
No.
with extensive body damage after wrecks. And you could go in there and you can see they're ripping off sheet metal and they're
No more.
If the sheet metal comes off,
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing on that is, it's going to keep a lot of cars that probably shouldn't get. And what they're doing is going out there and trying to gain 2 more points.
Right.
2 more points. You run 35th instead of 40th.
Right.
Just gain a couple more points. But, you had a bunch of wounded cars out there. But I think the big thing is you can't put a new splitter on.
No.
Or if you can't fix it, and the rule is if you can't fix it in
5 minutes. And thank goodness for Kenny Jones from Elite Site Services. He's the one that brought this to my attention this morning. We were out there at the racetrack, and he said, hey, did you hear about these new rules on pit road and taking the car to the garage? And if you're in an accident? I said, no. And he explained them to me, and I'm just like, that is unbelievable. I think it's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. We'll see a lot of there'll be a lot fewer cars running at Daytona than you used to fix them up and get them back out there.
Right.
No.
Right. And that's going to have some effect on the end of the year points, I'm sure.
Yeah. And speaking of Daytona, we got a slide here.
Oh,
yeah,
let's check it out.
Oh, yeah. 2015 Cup champion Kyle Busch, but we're not going to talk about him about Daytona.
He's not in Daytona right now?
No, I believe he's en route to Bakersfield.
Well, I saw his hauler this morning. It was parked in the main parking area there at Kern County Raceway. He's going to compete in the 3rd annual Winter Showdown. We're so happy to have him here, along with other Cup drivers. There we go.
Good.
Yeah, there we go. Eric Jones,
right.
And Noah Gregson, who now drives for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the Truck Series. So, and there's a lot of great drivers. Those guys have the resume for the Cup and all that, but there are guys that are coming this weekend that have long resumes of championships throughout the United States and drive and have had great success in the super late model division that we're going to see battling door to door with these guys.
And we're going to talk about that extensively in the next segment with Steve. But you already opened your season out there finally.
Yeah, we did.
After a couple of rainouts, you got going on the dirt track out at KCRP, and you had 83 plus cars out there on a beautiful, great day for racing.
Well,
last
let me
Saturday.
just start by saying I want to thank all the race fans that came out after having both of those first 2 rounds of the Winter Series canceled, and all the drivers. I mean, when they show out in force like that, 84 cars, and just a great show. All of our staff, John Piker, the dirt track manager, Juan Gonzalez, our facilities manager, just did a great job of getting things ready, and it was a great event. So I want to thank drivers and fans and, of course, our partners out there at the dirt track.
I put in the unofficial results here for a few divisions.
We were having some technical difficulties.
The A-Mods, and we know that Brad Townsend, that was a great race for the win at the end there. A caution brought Brad back to the field, and he came out with the win. Brett Bennett finished.
Brett Bennett went from 11th place to 2nd. That was a fantastic run by the Bandit.
That probably would have got him a hardest charger award.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, Robbie Sawyer started 12th and finished 4th.
So and he was up there a little higher at one point. He was second, I think.
Well,
third.
I think he was up to 3rd, and that's when Bennett got by him and pushed him back to 4th.
A good run by Cody Laney, and then Rick Childress Jr. there.
Yeah.
Finishing 5th.
And that was a last-minute deal for the outlaw Ricky Childress to jump into that 3rd Bill Henderson Racing 00 car.
Yeah, you got that. And then you had another big field in the B mods.
Yeah, full fields in both modified divisions.
Gary Dutton, Michael Johnson. This turned out to be a great race when another caution, and then Michael Johnson pulls a slide job on Gary, but slid right past him, and Gary went right back under him and back in front.
Certainly did a great crossover move by Gary Dutton on the comeback there. And Nick Spainhoward had a great run. Johnson was a little bit better than him at the tail end of the race. The youngster Brylan Holder and that wily old vet Wayne Dotson completing the top 5.
Gary wins. Michael Johnson says it's the worst car he's ever driven. And Nick Spainhoward says, it's okay, but we're here to win.
Yeah.
So like you said, the guys are already in mid-season form. They're out to win.
Right.
So we also had the Hobby Stocks run.
Yeah.
A show out there, and Raymond Nolan Jr. came down from Porterville and got the win. We kind of that race had a lot of changes.
Certainly
as it
did.
went on.
Eric Simmental, right at the initial green flag, made it 3 wide going into turn 1. Simmental started on the 2nd row, took the lead coming out of turn number 2. And was able to really pull away from the rest of the field. And he was just kind of on cruise control until he lost a motor late in the race. And Raymond Nolan was right there to pick up the pieces to get the victory.
And good deal, Donnie Mead. He was looking like he might win, and he came in second there. And Michael Scruggs, who had a good season at Bakersfield Speedway last year, comes in third. So Porterville drivers repping pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in the American stocks, it seemed like the gremlins were the mechanical gremlins were kind of biting everybody, especially the leaders in all of our divisions, except for the modifieds, of course. But Dakota Brown, I mean, he was just yarding the field until his, I think it was a rear end, or no, excuse me, yeah, I think a rear end on the 15D car let loose late in the race on the final lap, actually.
Right. Rich Demon Camare, he was did pretty well in that car.
He certainly did.
Borrowed
car for him, not his primary car. Yeah.
So a good showing there, and then the last race on the current configuration. I guess turn one's always been a tricky turn there because it's a really tight turn two. And so the cars will kind of really throw it into one, and it has a tendency to create some ruts down low because everybody's tossing the way the cars enter the corner, and that rut bit a couple people.
It did.
Whereas we had
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah,
broken axle
and rolled over in there. And then Rob Sanders did a trampoline type thing in the A-Mod where it went up into the air.
Did a roll in the air.
And
landed right back down on his Hoosier tires. No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm just glad both those drivers are okay. Rob's was a little bit different than Tyler's. Tyler was kind of already into the turn. His axle breaks, digs into the ground, and he does a couple of barrel rolls and lands on his tires. He was out of the car in a hurry. Rob's was a little bit more tricky, I guess. I mean, he dug in hard, and it shot him nearly straight up into the air. You see some photos of him with his nose completely pointed at the ground, about 7 feet off the dirt there, and he ended up pirouetting and then landing right on his tires. I'm glad he's okay as well.
Seeing what happened, you're looking and you see the red light come on, everybody stops. You look down in the corner, here's Rob Sanders on all four. You're thinking, well, why is there a red?
I know. I said, hey, did he roll? Did he roll? Because I was watching the leaders coming down the back straightaway, and he was about mid-pack there. Like I said, I'm just glad everybody's okay. The cars, I'm still checking on those.
Yeah. So that's it, and they're going to reconfigure the dirt track, so when it comes back in operation, it's going to be pushed out about 25 feet there.
Yeah, basically what it is, we kind of followed the lay of the land when we laid the track out. We wanted to do it a little bit differently, but the way it turned out was that more of an egg-shaped, deal,
right.
And we thought was a great novelty, but when we really start thinking about it, we want both ends of the racetrack to be similar, and it makes for better racing. It makes for safer racing. And then we're able to expand the divisions a little bit. So what we've done, MD Concrete Cutting was out there yesterday. They finished cutting the walls all the way around from right about the apex of 1 and 2 all the way to the pit or the track entrance on the back straightaway. So if you could just imagine when you're going into turn 1, the car's turned sideways, and when you turn the car sideways, you're almost head on to the wall. That's a little bit more of a dramatic illustration, but that's kind of how it is, where you really have to get it turned early, right, to get it straightened out. So what we're doing is we're going to move that wall back, and it's not going to be moved back 25 feet, but just the radius of the wall is being moved. So if you have a point where you're kind of pivoting the wall out a little bit, then once that's moved, new poles will be put into place. We'll restructure the wall and then have a nice radius in turns 1 and 2.
Okay, a lot of work to be done there.
A lot of work to be done, absolutely. But we're ahead of the game right now.
Okay, we'll get out of here in this segment. We'll come back with Steve and talk about the big winter showdown coming up at KCRP.